So I want to ask this, because we stress the same thing at Blue Ridge about understanding differentiation and competitive advantage, but also some of the stuff we were reading today talked about a lot of the most successful businesses that scale the fastest aren't necessarily all that different from something that came before, but they're better at executing. And so sort of what lessons you take from other organizations, or to what degree in your criteria you consider sort of, is there some maybe not huge innovation but small innovation that makes you think the idea is just going to work this time as opposed to other times?
Very interesting question. We take a leap of faith because most of our fellows are untested. They haven't really done that much. Some of them are straight out of college, right? They haven't had the opportunity to create something out of nothing before. So and also in the social change sector, there is actually not, I haven't seen, unfortunately, the same type. You can't look at innovation in the for-profit sector and apply it to the social change sector, because there's not. It's in some ways it's nuanced. So if I just kind of talk about a few of our fellows and say, wow, and you wouldn't be like, oh my God, that's the most innovative thing in the world. It just doesn't sound that innovative. But if you actually have a little bit of a history and you know more about it, and it is innovative, but it takes a few leaps. And so, but in some ways it is kind of nuanced, but you can't look at it from the same lens as kind of like a more products and service technology-based innovation. And so the execution piece is interesting because sometimes we find that our fellows are the ones who have launched an idea, but they're not the best ones to execute it, but we still see the value in launching that idea and bringing it into existence. So that's just another twist on that. And I guess, did you guys read Forces for Good? Is that where that came from? No, okay. Because I guess do you guys know the book Forces for Good? By Heather McLeod and Leslie Crutchfield, who they studied, I'm going to mess this up, so maybe they studied about thousands and thousands of high-performing nonprofit organizations. They tried to take the kind of good to great model of looking at lots of different elements of these organizations and trying to create linkages to see, well, what is it that they have in common that have enabled them to achieve the results that they have been able to, and they came up with, I think it's 6 or so lessons, and one of them is execution by any which way. It doesn't matter. In fact, in some ways, I remember our fellows kind of breathing a sigh of relief, and it doesn't matter how you do it, just get it done. And there's this kind of get it done philosophy. Like it's delivering. Don't worry so much about the process. I don't know how I feel about that, but so it's not much of an answer. It's early stage. We are looking for innovation. Innovation looks different in the social change sector than it does in the for-profit sector, and we are looking about creating leaders as well as new ideas and some other people can adopt it and take it on.
Cool.
I mean, I think one of the questions for me is also about, like, what's the least we can possibly do to affect the change that we want to? So I would like to be in every jurisdiction on the planet, right? But I don't want to do very much in any of those, right? So if I know what my impacts are, it's like, what's the least I can possibly do to achieve those impacts? And so that means, do I need to provide GED classes? No. Right? Do I need to provide therapy on site? No. Right? And those questions, if it turns out that I'm wrong about that, then we think about incorporating those things back in. One of the questions is this dialogue that we're convening that we know fosters dignity and responsibility and self-worth and recovery, is that enough in itself to improve mental health, to reduce recidivism, to blah, 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 all the things we're doing, without all the other fanfare that you see at multi-million-dollar organizations? Can we do it just by this one thing? Prepare people, talk, promise, do. Done. So some of it is also, there's part of the innovation that's about doing something new, and then there's part of it that's also about kind of doing less, about saying, what's the essential thing that will accomplish this change, and can we isolate that, and can we do only that? And I think that's something that's consistent with the financial climate. It's something that really fosters a will to partner, because I'm like, the moment I'm doing something that other people are doing, I'm failing. You know, like, they need to do it. If someone does it well, I shouldn't dare do it myself, right? If I can send that out. And so I think some of it is also about having a breadth of vision in terms of the impact and in terms of kind of the visionary part of this work, but also fostering a narrowness in your activities to get there. That I think is how I think.